All right, protein. Do we need it? Especially if you're vegan, and should you supplement it? That is going to be the topic of today's video. Hello, everybody. My name is Ryan. This is High Carb Regenerator. Welcome to my channel. Let's get started. So I do have some old video here that I wanted to play. It's a video that I had put out several months ago, if not a year ago. And it's talking about protein. I did have to take it down. I forget the reason why. But anyway, I'm going to play some of that here.
Hello, my grasshoppers. Today I want to answer a question sent to me by Roberto. And he said, how much more protein per day do you need to eat to build muscles? So what he's asking is, how much more?
I'm also coming at it from a other end of the spectrum. So I ate a lot of protein, like a lot, a lot. I don't even know what it was. And then actually, since I've been vegan, I really haven't had that much. And like you'll see in the thumbnail, I haven't really lost anything. So you have to understand that the muscle is actually a storage unit for glucose. So it's actually not. People think that the entire muscle is protein, and it's not. It's built of protein, but it stores glycogen.
More protein do you need to eat on top of what you usually eat? Okay, let's look at this logically. 1 pound of human muscle requires 100 grams of protein. Okay, let's say you are lucky enough to build 1 pound of lean muscles per month. That's 12 pounds of
That's a tall order right there, unless you're on something.
muscles per year. Now these are solid lean muscles that I'm talking about, okay? 12 pounds of pure muscles per year.
And that doesn't sound like a lot, but if you think of 12 pounds of beef just on your counter, it's quite a bit.
That's fantastic. You require 100 grams of protein extra per month to build a 1 pound of muscle, right? That comes out to 3.3 grams of protein per day extra that you need to eat to build that 1 pound of muscles per month. That's it. I'm so tired of listening to all these.
I'm glad I haven't watched any of these videos, and I'm really glad that he is like this, because it does not take as much as you think it does. It just does not.
So-called fitness experts on internet, YouTube, Facebook, on the social media, telling other people, repeating the same old BS they heard all their lives. Meaning, you all heard this before. Hey dude, you gotta eat at least 1 gram of protein per pound of your body weight. Meaning, if you weigh 170 pounds, you have to eat at least 170 grams of protein per day if you're trying to build muscles. Not true. Not true. You know what? For every one study on internet that says you gotta eat at least 1 gram of protein per pound of your body weight, there is equally.
Look at the studies who are saying this, and look who funds them.
Another study on the other side that says, no, you don't need to eat that much protein. Guess what? You know, the World Health Organizations, you know what they recommend for 170-pound active men? Only 55 grams of protein per day. So I'm tired of hearing guys, just because they lift weights, they think you need so much more protein to build muscles, when the body is not capable of using up all those extra proteins they take in to build 1 pound of muscle per month. It just doesn't make any sense.
All right, so you can see that we really actually don't need that much protein. Even that big buff dude that obviously on steroids,
was talking about how little protein that we actually need. And, you know, you get this question a lot about the protein. I actually, for whatever reason, don't get a lot of this question, but I do know a lot of vegans, especially like raw vegans and stuff, that get a lot of this question. And actually, if you're raw vegan, you're probably eating a lot of greens. You might actually get more protein than like the starch solution people, but there's also a lot of protein in potatoes, so you have to take that into account. Now, I'm not a huge proponent of tracking your calories, but if you do track your calories, especially on something like Chronometer, potatoes have a lot of protein in it, and actually rice has a lot of protein in it too, which is why Dr. Walter Kempner used rice, not only the palatability of it, but he also chose it because it had the like complete protein in rice, but it didn't have some of the vitamins, so I added a vitamin tab, and that's why he had the fruit in there. And I think digestion-wise, I think he also had the fruit in there for that reason as well. So anyway, I'm going to get back into some more of this older video here, and here we go.
Protein. I looked this up, and this is the same numbers I've been seeing for, you know, before the internet really even was talking to me. I was going to the library, the place with these books, you know, you open them up and read it. And this is the number right here. So 20 to 25 grams, that means the body can only absorb in one sitting around 25 grams of protein. And in one sitting is considered 1.5 to 2 hours. So that's basically 10 grams per hour. So if you do that and you eat 3 times a day, you'll end up getting 75 grams of protein. Protein is the only macronutrient that contains nitrogen. That's basically what protein is nitrogen. And some studies found that when you consume more than 30 grams of protein, the amount of nitrogen tested in test subjects' urine increased significantly. Do this test. You almost don't even need to go to a lab to do this. If this sounds crazy, but if you pee in, like, I don't know, a mason jar that you're no longer going to keep, you're just going to piss in this mason jar and put a lid on it, put it somewhere that you don't mind it being, and let it settle. There will be a massive amount of solids in this thing. It'll be white, and that is what you're peeing out, all the nitrogen. So let's listen to him talk about
in the
potatoes.
newspaper about this guy. I think it started about 9 months ago up in Washington, a guy who went on an all-potato diet. He did it out of protest. He was a potato farmer, went on an all-potato diet out of protest because everybody said such.
And the reason I'm showing this is you can get all your protein that you need. You can get all the carbs you need from from plant sources and lose weight at the same time. So you don't have to go on this carb cycling and this, bulking phase, cutting phase. You really don't. It's just pointless.
Bad things about potatoes. And so
the reason for this is most of the time, most sources of protein are always combined with fat. Just think of the nuts, think of especially if you go to animals, if you go to seeds, all of these, the main sources of protein that you're going to find out there, especially in the dairy world, are always combined with fat.
He went on a diet for 60 days of nothing but potatoes, basically nothing but potatoes. And what happens is he lost 35 pounds and cholesterol dropped like 60 points. You know, typical thing.
I'm not saying they go on potatoes only.
Things that happen when people go on starch-based diets. And this made national headlines. It was all over the internet and so on. And people thought it was something original. Actually, what he did was he copied behaviors that have been done by millions of people, not out of choice. And also an experiment that was published in 1928. In 1928, they did an experiment. I don't think you could get it by an ethics board today because they would consider it unethical to do this to people. What they did in this experiment in the 1920s is they took a man who was 25, a woman who was 28. They were very physically active. They were what you would call marathon runners. And they housed them in a situation where they controlled all their food. And what they fed them was an all-potato diet. Basically, all they ate was potatoes.
There was a lot of fat involved, too. I'm going to show the study right after this.
For 6 months. Now, that's not entirely true. They ran into a problem. The problem is because they were so physically active, they had to add energy to their diet. So what they added was oil to the potatoes.
That's actually not true.
Now, when you add oil, all you add is fat. You add no vitamins, no minerals, no fiber, no protein, nothing but oil. And so you dilute out the nutritional qualities of the potato. That was their diet for 6 months. Now, you can go to Google as soon as you get home.
All right, so let's do it. Got it on my other page. Here's that study, Con. See it right there. This study I'm actually going to link in the description if you want to read it. It's only 3 pages. I think there's more to this than these 3 pages, but I've never been able to find it. So they actually wanted to test the nitrogen levels. Can you get the proper nitrogen levels? So they were actually cared about the protein just from potatoes. But what they did do is they did a lot of, so the potatoes were either steamed, cooked, unpeeled, and then consumed with butter or salt or fried. They were consumed mashed after cooking or sliced and made into salad with a little oil. In the later stages of the experiment, it was found, however, that simple steamed cooked potatoes seemed the most palatable, and this method of preparation therefore generally used. So even in the beginning, they had oil in there. They fried this stuff. They had the butter in there. So he always talks about. I've seen him mention this study quite a few times. I've reached out to him and say, bro, that ain't right. But he hasn't responded. I'm trying to get him on this channel. Let's see if that happens. So 3 meals were taken daily. The potatoes were weighed out for each meal, and then an endeavor was made to keep that food intake constant throughout the experiment. From time to time, nitrogen balance periods were instituted. Urine was then collected and analyzed daily. Feces were analyzed in 2 or 3 day samples. Each metabolism period lasted 4 days, except for period 4 of subject A, which lasted 6 days. The whole experiments extended over 167 days from December. He said this. So they actually, their protein levels were completely fine. I think the study was shocked at this. It will be seen that the nitrogen equilibrium was attained by both subjects more rapidly by B. I think B was the male. There was a female and a male. Subjects were 2 healthy adults, a man 25, a woman 28. They were subsequently referred to as A and B respectively. So B was the female. Okay, so she got there faster than he did. Body weight was nearly constant during the whole experiment. The sudden loss of weight of subject A towards the end of the experiment was perhaps associated with the beginning of a more intense training. I do believe he was an Olympic athlete. I think they both were. The digestion was excellent throughout the experiment, and both subjects felt very well. They did not tire the uniform potato diet. There was no cravings for change. So you can read the whole thing. I will link it down below. And seeing I'm on
fitness. Now, a lot of people keep saying to me, make more videos about what you eat, about your nutrition, what you eat as a vegan athlete, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so what
I'm drinking that obesity drink there.
I want to do is make a really straightforward and simple video for you guys. What I eat is a vegan diet, obviously, very lean, mostly fruits and vegetables based. I don't worry about whether it's cooked or not cooked, any of that bullshit. As I was
I don't either. I do feel better on raw, and you do recover. So I like mixing the two of them. You know, if you can do it. If you can't find the stuff, then don't worry about it. I mean, everybody gets so hung up on this stuff. If you cannot find good fruit and you don't like tinned fruit, just don't worry about it. Just start rice or potatoes or
said
something.
in many other videos, okay? Now, what I eat is mainly
He's true to the game.
carbohydrates, okay? So carbohydrates. I eat very little fat and I eat little protein, okay? I do get my RDAs.
But how did he get so muscular? Must be steroids. I mean, you're not doing steroids in this physique. Just kidding.
Of fat and protein, but I don't eat necessarily that much more over and above. But carbohydrates, I'm smashing in the carbohydrates. Low fat, natural carbohydrates all the time. So what do I mean by that? Motherfucker, look at that!
That's a nice bag. Nice bag. It is a nice bag. I find those towards the end of the growing season. I can't wait. These huge bags. Actually, kind of like the bag I got.
Potatoes! Just come back from the fruit and vegetable store. This little baby here. Look at that. That is what I'm talking about. Potatoes. Dirt cheap, next to nothing. These potatoes, you know, you stick about a whole oven's worth of those in there. That is going to last you a severe amount of time, okay? Now then, don't be ridiculous. That bag of potatoes Cost me £4, okay?
All right. So I just wanted to get the point across. You can see that he is not fat like the person making this video. And I'm losing weight. It's crazy to watch some of these old videos. I can see in my face that the weight is coming off, but it's not in any hurry. But you can see this guy, not fat at all, and that's what he's eating.
And you certainly don't need a ton of protein. And that is why I wanted to make this video. You really have to look at how little protein that you need. And women can process way less than men. And if you are on some kind of performance-enhancing drug, your protein synthesis goes skyrockets, right? So you can take in way more than you would be able to naturally. And I'm not advocating for that, and I never did it myself. I just never wanted to. So anyway, I hope this video did you some good. If it did, check out some of my other videos. If you have problems with bloating and swelling in the gut after you eat, I made a video recently about food combining, and that's going to be down below. And then I'm just going to put some kind of a playlist here. Go check them out. Check out the videos. Share the videos. Thanks for coming by. Like, subscribe, comment, questions, and down below. And I'll talk to you in the next one.